The story of money in Sri Lanka begins very long ago. Before coins, people used a barter system. They traded goods for other goods. This system was simple but had its limits. The need for a standard unit of value grew with trade. Around the 3rd century BCE, the first coins appeared on the island. These were not made in Sri Lanka. They came from India through busy trade routes. These early coins were silver punch-marked coins. They are a very important part of Sri Lanka's economic history. They show the island's early connections with mainland India and its growing economy. These first silver coins were called kahapanas, or puranas. They were not round like modern coins. They had an irregular shape. Makers would cut silver sheets into pieces. Then, they stamped various symbols onto them. Each symbol had a meaning. Some symbols were from nature, like the sun, moon, or animals. Other symbols represented religious ideas or the authority of the ruler who issued them. A single coin could have 5 or more different punch marks on it. This system was complex. It was used across a large part of ancient India. Finding these coins in Sri Lanka shows us how trade flourished across the Palk Strait. The weight of these silver kahapanas was very important. They followed a specific standard, usually around 3.2 to 3.4 grams. This consistency and weight made them reliable for trade. A merchant could accept a coin knowing its value was based on a trusted amount of silver. This was a big step forward from simple barter. These coins were used for all kinds of transactions. They were used for buying food, paying for services, and making religious donations. Archaeologists have found large hoards of these punch-marked coins. These discoveries tell us that a money-based economy was already developing in ancient Sri Lanka. The symbols on the coins are like a window into the past. Common symbols include the sun, a 6-armed symbol, often called the Shad Ara Chakra, a hill with a crescent on top, a bull, and an elephant. Each mark was added by a different authority or guild. This system ensured the coin's authenticity. It was like a modern-day security feature. The presence of these coins in ancient monastic sites and trading ports across Sri Lanka proves their widespread use. They were the foundation of a monetary system that would evolve over thousands of years. This early silver currency laid the groundwork for all the coins that followed. The Anuradhapura kingdom was a great period in Sri Lankan history. It lasted for over 1,000 years, from about 377 BCE to 1017 CE. During this time, Sri Lanka developed its own unique coins. While early punch-marked coins were still in use, new local designs began to appear. One of the most famous early Sri Lankan coins is the swastika coin. These were made of lead or copper, but silver versions are also known, though they are very rare. These coins were rectangular. They had a swastika symbol on one side. On the other side, they often had symbols like elephants, horses, or railed enclosures. The swastika was a powerful symbol in ancient Sri Lanka. It was associated with good fortune and prosperity. It was also a significant symbol in Buddhism, which became the state religion during the Anuradhapura period. The use of the symbol on coins shows the close link between the monarchy and religion. The coins were not just for trade. They were also a way for rulers to spread their influence and religious beliefs. The elephant symbol was also very important. It represented royalty and strength. Finding these symbols on coins tells us what was valued by the society of that time. Another important silver coin from this era is the Lakshmi plaque. These were thin, rectangular pieces of silver or gold. They showed the goddess Lakshmi on one side. Lakshmi is the Hindu goddess of wealth and prosperity. On the coin, she is shown standing on a lotus flower. 2 small elephants are on either side of her, pouring water over her head from pots held in their trunks. This image is called Gaja Lakshmi, which means Lakshmi with elephants. These plaques were likely used for religious offerings or as special tokens rather than for daily trade. They are beautifully crafted and highly valued by collectors today. The design and quality of coins changed over the centuries of the Anuradhapura period. Later coins became more refined. Some rare silver coins from the later Anuradhapura period have been found. They often feature a standing human figure on one side and a seated figure on the other. These designs were influenced by coins from southern India, like those of the Pallava and Chola dynasties. This shows that cultural and economic exchange with India continued to be very strong. These silver coins, though not as common as copper ones, were a vital part of the kingdom's economy, used for larger transactions and royal payments. After the fall of Anuradhapura, the capital moved to Polonnaruwa. The Polonnaruwa kingdom, which lasted from 1056 to 1232 CE, brought new changes to Sri Lankan coinage. The most famous coins from this period are the copper massa coins. However, some rulers also issued silver coins. These coins followed the design of the Chola dynasty, which had occupied Sri Lanka before. The design featured a standing king on one side and a seated king on the other side. This style was first introduced by the Chola, King Raja Raja I. The Sri Lankan kings adopted this design, but added their own unique touches. King Vijayabahu I was the first great king of Polonnaruwa. He drove out the Chola invaders and reunited the country. His coins continued the Chola design, but he inscribed his own name on them. Later, kings like Parakramabahu the Great and Nisankamala also issued coins with this design. Silver coins from this period are much rarer than the common copper massa. They were likely used for high-value trade or for royal purposes. These silver coins are called kahavanu. They were worth more than the copper massa. The silver kahavanu of Nisankamala is particularly notable. He even mentions in his inscriptions that he gifted silver coins to his people. The design of these medieval coins is very stylized. The standing figure on the front, or obverse, holds several objects. One hand holds a flower or a lamp, the other arm is raised. The figure wears a special headdress and clothing. The seated figure on the back, or reverse, is also very stylized. The king's name is written next to the seated figure in Nagari script, a script used in India. For example, the coins of Parakramabahu the Great bear the legend Sri Parakramabahu. This clearly identifies the ruler who issued the coin, which was a new development in Sri Lankan numismatics. After the Polonnaruwa kingdom, Sri Lanka was divided into several smaller kingdoms, like Kota and Kandy. Coinage during this time became less centralized. The Setu coins are an interesting example from this period. They were issued by the Arya Chakravarti kings of the Jaffna kingdom. While most of these are copper, some rare silver phantoms have been found. These coins feature a bull on one side and the word Setu written in Tamil script on the other. The bull represents the Hindu god Shiva. These coins show the distinct cultural and religious identity of the Northern Kingdom during the medieval period. The arrival of the Portuguese in 1505 marked the beginning of the colonial era in Sri Lanka. The Portuguese were mainly interested in the island's valuable spice trade, especially cinnamon. At first, they did not introduce their own coins. They used the existing local currency, and also brought in coins from other parts of their empire. However, as their control over the coastal areas grew, they started to mint their own coins for use in Sri Lanka. These coins were a mix of European designs and local weight standards. This created a new chapter in the history of Sri Lankan silver coinage. The most important Portuguese silver coin used in Sri Lanka was the tanga. The Portuguese minted silver tangas at their mint in Goa, India, and later in Colombo. These coins were made to facilitate trade. They had a specific design. One side usually featured the Portuguese coat of arms. This was a shield with castles and smaller shields, topped with a crown. This symbol clearly showed the authority of the King of Portugal. The other side of the coin often had a cross of the Order of Christ, a powerful religious and military order in Portugal. These silver tangas came in different denominations. There were single tangas, double tangas, and even half tangas. Their value was based on their silver content. The designs were very European. For example, some rare silver coins minted in Colombo under Portuguese rule are called Malacca tangas. They were similar to coins minted in Malacca, another Portuguese colony. These coins are extremely rare today. They show the interconnectedness of the Portuguese colonial empire. The coins were not just for Sri Lanka but were part of a wider global trading network. The Portuguese also countermarked existing coins. They would take local coins, like the silver laren, and stamp them with their own mark. A laren was a hook-shaped silver coin that was popular in the Indian Ocean trade. The Portuguese would stamp a small cross or their coat of arms on these larens to make them official currency in the areas they controlled. This was a practical way to quickly create a supply of currency without having to mint new coins. These Portuguese-era silver coins are very sought after by collectors because they represent a time of great change and conflict in Sri Lanka. In the mid-17th century, the Dutch drove the Portuguese out of Sri Lanka. The Dutch East India Company, known as the VOC, or Verenigde Oost-Indische Compagnie, took control of the island's coastal regions. The Dutch were actually very organized administrators and traders. They established a more systematic and controlled currency system than the Portuguese had before them. They minted a variety of silver coins specifically for their territories in Asia, including Sri Lanka. These coins were, essential for managing the profitable trade in cinnamon, areca nuts, and elephants. The Dutch period introduced several new and interesting silver coins to the island. One of the most significant silver coins of the Dutch period was the silver riksdollar, or Rijksdaalder. This was a large, heavy silver coin. It became the main unit of account in Dutch Ceylon. The riksdollar was minted in the Netherlands, and also at colonial mints like Batavia, which is modern-day Jakarta. The coin typically featured a standing knight in armor, holding a sword and a shield with the coat of arms of a Dutch province. The other side often had the VOC monogram, a large logo with the letters V, O, and C all intertwined. Below the monogram, there was often a mark for the mint location. Besides the large riksdollar, the Dutch also issued smaller silver coins. These included the half riksdollar, quarter riksdollar, and smaller denominations like the shilling and stuiver. Silver stuivers were small but, honestly, really important for everyday transactions. Some of these coins were minted directly in Sri Lanka. For example, a mint was established in Colombo. Coins minted in Colombo often had an elephant symbol on them, representing Ceylon. These locally minted coins are very rare and highly prized by collectors. They are a direct link to the Dutch administration on the island. The Dutch also continued the practice of countermarking foreign coins. They took silver coins from Persia and India, like the Abbasi and the rupee, and stamped them with the VOC monogram or other symbols. This was a way to authorize these coins for local use and fix their value within the Dutch system. The Dutch silver coinage system was complex. It included coins from Europe, coins from other Asian colonies, and locally minted coins. This mix of currencies really shows the global nature of Dutch trade. These silver coins actually remained in circulation even after the British took over, showing just how influential the Dutch system was. The British period in Sri Lanka began in 1796, when they captured the coastal territories from the Dutch. By 1815, they had control over the entire island. The British brought their own monetary system, which would eventually replace the Dutch riksdollar system. The early years of British rule saw a mix of currencies. Dutch coins, Indian rupees, and British coins were all used. To bring order, the British began issuing their own silver coins for Ceylon. These coins reflected the power and prestige of the growing British Empire. They were minted with high precision and quality. The first distinct British silver coin for Ceylon was the silver riksdollar, issued in the 1820s. The British kept the name riksdollar for a short time to make the transition smoother for the local population. These coins were large and impressive. They were minted in London. One side featured a portrait of the British monarch, King George IV. The other side showed an elephant standing in front of a palm tree with the words, Ceylon 1 riksdollar. This design beautifully combined a symbol of British royalty with a symbol of the colony itself. Smaller denominations, like the silver fanum, were also issued. In 1825, the British government decided to switch the currency of its colonies to the British sterling system of pounds, shillings, and pence. However, this did not work well in Ceylon because of its close trade ties with India, which used the rupee. So, from 1870 onwards, Ceylon's currency was officially decimalized and linked to the Indian rupee. New silver coins were introduced. These included the 50 cents, 25 cents, and 10 cents pieces. These coins were smaller and more practical for daily use than the old riksdollars. They were made of silver and were very popular. These new decimal coins featured the portrait of the reigning British monarch on the obverse. This started with Queen Victoria and continued with King Edward VII, King George V, and King George VI. The reverse side of the coin had a simple yet elegant design. It showed a palm tree in the center. The value of the coin was written in English, Sinhala, and Tamil around the palm tree. This trilingual inscription was an important feature. It acknowledged the main languages spoken on the island. These silver coins were used for many decades. They were a part of daily life for generations of Sri Lankans, until silver was replaced by cheaper metals in the mid-20th century. Throughout Sri Lanka's long numismatic history, there are many small and rare silver coins that tell fascinating stories. These coins are often overlooked in favor of larger, more impressive pieces, but they hold great historical value. One of the earliest examples is the tiny silver punch-marked coin. These were fractions of the standard kahapana. Some weighed as little as 0.1 to 0.2 grams. They were likely used for very small purchases, like buying a handful of vegetables at the market. Finding these tiny coins requires great care during archaeological excavations. They show that a very detailed monetary system existed even in ancient times. During the medieval period, small silver coins called phanams were used. The word phanam comes from the Tamil word panam, which means money. These coins were common in southern India and were also used in Sri Lanka. They were tiny, thin discs of silver, often weighing less than half a gram. The silver phanams of the Jaffna kingdom, with the Setu bull design, are extremely rare. There were also Kandy and phanams, issued by the kings of Kandy. These are known as masu or ran masu. They were often crudely struck and had simple dot patterns or stylized figures. Their small size and rarity make them a prize for any serious collector. The colonial period also produced some very rare small silver coins. The Portuguese issued a silver coin called the real. These were small coins intended for local trade. Very few examples have survived, making them almost legendary among collectors. The Dutch also minted small silver stivers in Colombo. A 1 stiver silver coin from the Dutch period is incredibly rare. Most stivers were made of copper. The silver versions were likely special issues or patterns. These coins are tiny, often less than 10 millimeters in diameter, and their survival over centuries is remarkable. The British period also has its share of rare silver varieties. For example, some early British silver phanams from the early 1800s are very scarce. They were part of a transitional currency system before the riksdollar was fully established. Later, in the decimal series, some years of production for the 10 cents, 25 cents, and 50 cents coins were very low. This makes coins from those specific years much rarer than others. For instance, the silver 50 cents coin from 1942 is harder to find because during World War II, silver was needed for the war effort, and coin production changed. These small and rare coins are the hidden gems of Sri Lankan numismatics. American collectors and numismatists have a deep appreciation for Sri Lankan silver coins. For them, these coins are not just pieces of metal. They are tangible artifacts of a rich and diverse history. Collectors in the United States are often drawn to the challenge and educational value of assembling a collection of Sri Lankan coins. The island's history, with its ancient kingdoms, colonial struggles, and path to independence, is mirrored in its coinage. Each silver coin offers a window into a specific era, ruler, or cultural shift. This historical narrative is very appealing to American collectors who often specialize in world coins. The market for Sri Lankan coins in the United States is active, though it is a specialized field. Major auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers Galleries regularly feature rare Sri Lankan silver coins in their world coin auctions. High-quality examples of ancient punch-marked kahapanas, Polonnaruwa silver kahavanu, and colonial rarities can command high prices. American collectors value coins that are in good condition, have a clear provenance, meaning a history of ownership, and are certified by grading services like NGC, the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, or PCGS, the Professional Coin Grading Service. These services authenticate and grade the coins, giving buyers confidence. American numismatic scholars have also contributed to the study of Sri Lankan coins. Researchers and authors in the United States have published articles and books on South Asian numismatics, including the coins of Sri Lanka. They work with museum collections and private collectors to document and analyze these historical objects. This academic interest helps to increase the global understanding and appreciation of Sri Lanka's numismatic heritage. Online forums and collector societies in the United States also have dedicated groups for South Asian coins, where collectors share knowledge, trade coins, and discuss new discoveries. For an American collector, building a typeset of Sri Lankan silver coins is a popular goal. A typeset includes one example of each major coin design issued throughout history. This could start with an ancient punch-marked coin, move to a Polonnaruwa kahavanu, include a Portuguese tanga, a Dutch riksdollar, a British riksdollar, and a silver 50 cents piece. Completing such a set is a long and rewarding journey. It allows the collector to hold thousands of years of Sri Lankan history in their hands. The coins serve as a bridge, connecting collectors in America to the vibrant and complex past of a fascinating island nation. After Sri Lanka gained independence in 1948 and became a republic in 1972, the nature of silver coinage changed dramatically. Silver was no longer used for regular circulating currency. The rising price of silver made it too expensive for daily coins. Cheaper metals like copper, nickel, and aluminum replaced the beautiful silver coins of the past. The era of using silver for 10, 25, and 50-cent pieces came to an end. However, this was not the complete end of silver coinage in Sri Lanka. The Central Bank of Sri Lanka began a new tradition issuing silver commemorative coins. These modern silver coins are not meant for shopping. They are special issues created to celebrate important events, anniversaries, or national achievements. They are known as non-circulating legal tender, or NCLT. This means they have a face value, like 1,000 rupees or 5,000 rupees, but their real value comes from their silver content and their rarity as a collector's item. The central bank issues these coins in limited quantities. They are often sold in special presentation boxes with a certificate of authenticity. This makes them popular among both local and international collectors. The first silver commemorative coin of the Republic of Sri Lanka was issued in 1957. It was a 5 rupee coin celebrating the 2500th anniversary of Buddhism, known as Buddha Jayanti. This large silver coin featured a beautiful design and set the standard for future issues. Since then, Sri Lanka has issued dozens of silver commemorative coins. They have marked events like the 50th anniversary of independence, the hosting of international conferences like the Non-Aligned Summit, and anniversaries of important national institutions. They also celebrate Sri Lanka's unique wildlife and cultural heritage, with coins featuring elephants, leopards, and ancient temples. Today, these modern silver coins are an important part of Sri Lankan numismatics. They continue the long tradition of using precious metal to mark significant moments in the nation's history. For collectors, they represent the modern identity of Sri Lanka. The designs are often intricate and artistic, created by talented Sri Lankan artists. While they don't jingle in the pockets of people every day, these silver coins serve a different purpose. They are beautiful mementos, valuable investments, and a way to preserve the memory of Sri Lanka's journey as a proud and independent nation for future generations to admire.